Hey guys, welcome to tip video number 3. Just wanted to take some time to help you get into the studio, help you get prepared to get into the studio. Everybody knows we don't have unlimited funds, maybe some of you do, but you know, we want to get as prepared as we can before we go into the studio so we don't waste the engineer's time and so we get the peak of our creativity. There is a plus to just going in and, you know, only hearing the beat once and just going and doing some freestyle, but a lot of times I don't capture what I'm trying to say doing it that way. Some people are talented like that. Sometimes I am, but not all the time. Sometimes I need to prepare. So what I'll do is I'll take the instrumental and I'll just listen to it and listen to it and listen to it. A lot of times I don't even have a vocal idea. I don't even know what I'm going to rap about or anything, but I start listening to that instrumental. I start finding the nooks and crannies and kind of where the beat drops and kind of where it just spaces out and the little crevices that me as a producer I try to create for you guys, and I just like doing that. It's really cool, you know, it just makes me happy, I don't know. So if we take the time to kind of practice, listen to it a lot, start to formulate some ideas. I always take an instrumental. This is how I write, but I take an instrumental and I'll just start with a pen and a pad. Maybe I'll be freestyling or something while I'm driving, but I'll take that pen and a pad and I'll write the first line and I'll just start saying that first line over and over. And then the second line will come along and then it starts to grow into a song. And the chorus comes along and I get an idea. I might repeat myself or I might do something that's every line's different. You know, it just depends what you're going for. It depends what's coming out of you. But for me, I get it to where that track becomes a part of me and I'm putting in those words, and by the end of the song it's done, and you know, it's only been a day or two since I wrote it. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, sometimes I visit it and then I spend a couple months away from it and then come back to it. So it just depends how you work. We're all a little different. But practice is key. I mean, you want to start to enunciate the words correctly, get that impact on certain places, have the spaces. You know, the more interesting you make it, it's kind of like an actor. You know, you can watch an actor act, and if they don't have like true human emotion, if they're not really putting on a show, even though they might not be feeling that at that time, you know, when you're on the mic, it's kind of like once it's there, it's there. So we want to do the best job we can, and if you need to prepare for that, prepare for that. Some people are just natural, like I said before. Some people are just natural freestyle, they could just do it. But I've always found that a lot of freestyle rappers, even the top, you know, there's still an element that's lacking, and it's just diligence, it's hard work. You know, putting it in the time to actually get yourself to have like this passion, and there's just some of that missing. And I'm not saying that, you know, there's not freestyle guys out there who are on fire and all that, but sometimes you can tell it's kind of a rant. It doesn't really tell a story, and you know, if you really want to move people, they want to last a while, you gotta be a good storyteller. So anyways, those are just some thoughts for you guys. I'm going to show you you know, just how to for yourself, if you have a computer, how to do it for free. You know, you can practice, hear your voice back, play it back, see where you need to make some improvements. You can even get a tape recorder someplace like Office Depot or something for anywhere from, I don't know, maybe they start at $50, maybe they start at $20. You might be able to find a used one on eBay or something. But just set that up, press record, put the instrumental on, and then start to rap or sing while that instrumental's on after you've written your song or you feel like freestyling, whatever you want to do. And then listen back to it. If there's not a good balance, adjust your levels. Get further or closer away, closer to the tape recorder. Get further away, you know, put the music a little softer, put it a little louder, whatever it is, till you get a good balance of your words and the music. See, then you can start to hear yourself back. And when you start hearing yourself back, you're gonna see, wow, man, where I thought I was really on, I was a little bit off, you know? And you say, how do I get that better? And then so you do it again and you fix it. You know, you think about these things as you're rapping or as you're going about it. And then you'll formulate this structure that's gonna work for the songs that you're trying to do. It's gonna sound flawless, you know? And then as you get better at that, it'll come back into your freestyling. You'll be thinking about this stuff while you're freestyling. So it's you know, practice does help to make you perfect in a sense, you know, as you go out, and it's going to help you prepare for your performances, and it's going to help you sound better on your upcoming albums and your next songs and all that kind of stuff. So the more work you put in, the more quality is going to come out, and that's something that I've learned over the years. I mean, you can sit in a room for 10 years and be freestyling over beats and all that kind of stuff, you know, thinking you're really great, and then people just say, man, you're okay, but you know, I sound the same as you did 10 years ago. Well, you know, we need to improve. None of us are perfect. We need to improve, and so that's what I encourage you to do. I mean, that's something I'm constantly doing. When I'm writing a track, it's like I write the track, it's like, oh man, that's a little off. And I gotta say, oh boy, I gotta be a little bit humble and say, man, that really sucked, you know? And then I gotta fix it. And I gotta say, okay, well, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Fixed it, and then it comes out. Sometimes I make mistakes, and something I thought would sound terrible, I play it back and I'm like, wow, and that's the new direction I go in. You know, Miles Davis said, you make a mistake, play it loud and play it proud. You never know when you're gonna hit that, you know. Might go through a lot of trash to get there, but you might find something you were never looking for in the first place that becomes your trademark. So give it a shot, you know. I mean, it's worth doing. But now we're gonna head over into the computer. I'm gonna show you how to download some free software so that you can record if you have a computer. If not, like I said, you can get the tape recorder, and let's just get to it, man. I'm trying to help you guys out, and you know, it's a great thing to improve. So here we go.
All right, so go to google.com, type in Audacity, Audacity, and it should pop up, one of the first ones. The address is audacity.sourceforge.net. Then it'll come up, click on the green button up there to download it. Go ahead and save the file wherever you save files. I usually save to the desktop. Go ahead and double click on the file audacity.exe, and it will open the install program. Click run, and it'll prepare to install. It takes a little longer than this, I just shortened it for the video. Go ahead and click accept on the first screen there, and they're going to try to install some other stuff, so we want to go down to the second circle, uncheck the boxes so they don't install that stuff, and then click accept. And then click accept again, and then accept. Leave this box checked so you have a shortcut on your desktop. Accept. Now here's where it gets kind of tricky. We got to cancel these top 5 things that are on there. But after the third one, it just disappeared. So I go down to the taskbar and find a foreign looking thing. It comes back up, and I do the other ones. Now, accidentally, I canceled the shortcuts. So I'm going to go back here and retry for the shortcuts. Because I want the shortcuts on the desktop, and I want the Audacity. And a couple shortcuts are going to come up that I'm not going to use. They just go to the internet, so I'll just delete them. Then I'll wait for Audacity to come up. It comes up automatically. You can have the tips show up every time, or turn them off, press OK, and maximize the program. First thing we want to do is configure the sound card, so I'm going to go to the Start button, go to the Control Panel, and then go to Sound, or Audio Devices, whatever it's called, usually Sound. Click on that, and then I'm going to look for the one that is active. I know it's a little different for XP, but there should be a name of your sound card. Some are Sound Max. Depends on what your audio card is. I'm going to make sure that the output, which is a speaker, what I'm going to be hearing back, is my audio card that I'm using, whatever the headphone jack is plugged into. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the microphone. Wherever the microphone jack is, I'm going to select that sound card. Most computers only have one sound card. I have a couple because I do a lot of production. Now we want to deal with a common issue, which is latency. A lot of times sound cards need to be adjusted. So we'll go to Edit, then we'll go to Preferences, and then we'll go to the Recording, which is the third one down. And then here, the first number is 100. That should be okay. The second number is where you would adjust. So it has -130. You can try it out when you record if your vocals don't match up correctly, or if you feel like you're coming in too late or something. Adjust that number. You can go -170. I'll just keep it at -130 for now. Try it out. If it doesn't work, then I'll fix it later. I'm going to go to File and Import. This is where I'm going to get the MP3 that I downloaded from beatamerica.com. And then it's on my desktop, so I go to IUWish 93 BPM. Which means beats per minute. I'll import that. It's gonna work, and then I'll put it in, press play, and that's the track I want. All I want to do is kind of test out the latency, so we'll put the track on, and then we'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4 to the beat, make sure it's on. If it's not, we'll adjust it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, it's a little bit behind, so we're going to have to go in and change the number. Go to Edit, and then go to Preferences, and then go to the left-hand side where it says Recording. And then the second box, it says -130. You might have to change yours to 150 or 200. I changed mine to -170. Press OK. You'll figure out what number works for you when you test it out. So I'll go ahead and record, see if that works.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that'll work for me. That's -170. You might find a different number like -200. Check it out. It takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it. Now I'm going to delete a track, it's just that X right there. So that'll delete the track that I don't want. And then I will start to record regular vocals, so I'll delete the other track as well and then get started on vocals.
How do I improve to do the duty that I have to do to get through to people like you? I just apply myself to my passion and watch them what happened. All of a sudden I'm rapping again. My friend, I'm all about this end of the business and helping you move down a brand new avenue.
I started to trail off, mess up at the end there. No big deal. It happens a lot. No problem. You know, that's why we practice. So, microphones. I'm using a webcam microphone on this, so you can't really hear what I'm saying. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about EQ. So we're going to select the track, the vocal track, anywhere in that gray area to the left. Click on it. It'll select the track. Then we're going to go up to Effect, and we're going to go to Equalization. And this is where math and science start to meet music. Can get pretty complex here. I'm going to go to Graphic EQ. We'll just keep it simple for now. This looks kind of like a stereo with the knobs. So we're just going to push up different frequencies. I don't know, for vocals you can use like 1,000 to 4,000 or 5,000 hertz. We'll push it up a little bit so maybe it'll cut through the mix. Depends on the microphone you have. Some need no adjustment, some need a ton of adjustment. Like with a webcam, you'll probably need to adjust in a lot of different places. This is just for example's sake. So I'm going to push those up and then I'm going to pull down some of these bass elements here. I probably didn't go high enough in the bass spectrum, but it's going to come through a little bit better in the presence of the mix. We'll test it out by pressing preview.
How do I improve to do the duty that I have to do to get through to people like you? I just apply myself to my passion and watch them what happened.
Alright, so let's say that works. I'll press OK. And then that will change the actual vocal track once I press OK. And you'll be able to play it back and listen to it.
How do I improve to do the duty that I have to do to get through to people like you? I just apply myself to my passion and watch them what happened. All of a sudden I'm rapping again. My friend, I'm all about this end of the business and helping you move down a brand new avenue.
Okay, so it still could use some work. Just remember that the left-hand side is the bass spectrum, and then as you go to the right, it's more of the treble, so you get your high-end stuff as far as the EQ goes. And you can mess around with that for hours and hours. I've messed around with it for hours and hours to start to learn about it. And you'll find what works for you. So just find a pattern that works for you, and then you'll be able to use that according to the microphone that you use. And of course, you can just experiment with it. You might find some sounds, you might find the unique quality of your voice that you could take to your engineer and let him know. So now, here's just an example. I've finished my vocals. I'm going to select both tracks. You just drag over and it'll turn into a little selector tool. I'll go to File, and I'll go to Export Selected, because that's what I selected, and then I'll save it, wherever you save files, and name it, and then you will have your WAV file. You can also save it as an MP3 if you want in that drop-down menu. Here you can just change the information on the WAV file if you want. If you're going to give it to somebody, maybe it'll pop up on their media player as you and put your stuff in there. This box just tells you it's going to be a stereo file, which is what we want. Press OK. It'll export, and then we'll have our file to listen to, put on our MP3 player. Check it out.